This is exactly what I am trying to fight against, this theory. That when you are trying to do self-discovery, you should not be emotional. You should not get involved in any other emotions. You should be dry thinking and intellectually you have. This is not possible because we are all emotional human beings. I think a closer way of discovering oneself is to indulge in emotions. And now don't make that into a fetish. I have to do some, not like that. When, when emotions take place, don't run away from them. You understand? Feel what is happening. You cannot, we being emotional human beings cannot discover ourselves in a dry manner. That's not possible. Only when we have emotions are we really living human beings. And then only when we have emotions can we look at ourselves and understand ourselves. Otherwise we cannot discover ourselves. That what you discover without emotions is merely a made up image of yourself. It's not you. No, it's an emotion free imitation of me. It's not me. I'm full of emotion. So keep that channel open always. Don't close it off. If you want to put it in Vedantic terms, I don't know whether you want to. Yeah. The description of the Supreme Being or the Supreme Reality or whatever, for the time being speculative, hypothetical, is that it is Sat-Chit-Ananda, according to Vedanta. It's called, that being which you are seeking is called Sat-Chit-Ananda. Sat-Chit-Ananda is made up of 3 syllables, Sat, Chit and Ananda. Now Sat meaning reality. Reality. Not the reality which you believe in, but the reality of everything. Chit is consciousness. Consciousness, the quality of consciousness by which you experience, feel or realize the reality. Without your being consciousness, you cannot find out the reality. You cannot even know if there is something real. And Ananda means Ananda, bliss, happiness. Now, the absolute reality of what is, which is Sat, it is very difficult for the limited mind to understand. You can only understand relative realities because it is conditioned by various factors. Even its thinking is conditioned. You may think more than me, I may think more than him. Some people have a very great thinking mind, some have less. So it is very relative, and it's very limited by itself. The very fact that thinking is limited is shown by the fact that knowledge is always limited, which is why people want more knowledge. If it was unlimited, with one knowledge we would have been satisfied, but we are never unlimited. So we really cannot find that. It's going on. So Sat cannot actually be found by us, except what is immediately perceivable to our senses. Now Chit, which is consciousness. There are so many layers of consciousness in our system. Conscious, subconscious, if maybe superconscious, we don't know. That we work most of the time only in the conscious level. But our lives are dictated most of the time by the subconscious, which is much more than the conscious. Although we tend to think that these are conscious moments, the conscious acts are decided by the subconscious. So that also is very difficult for us in our conscious state to fully comprehend. The last one, Ananda, is something which we can all comprehend in some form or the other. The Ananda of eating good idli sambar, the Ananda of falling in love and running away with somebody, the Ananda of going to a beautiful place and listening to the birds, or at seeing the open starlit sky, or the Ananda of hearing a kindly word from somebody, affectionate word from somebody, or even the Ananda of looking at a little child in the streets in rags, smiling at you and asking for money. It's not anger, it's sometimes pain, but when you give, there is some happiness. All this is Ananda, that we can understand to a very great extent. And what is Ananda? It is emotion oriented. So I am saying, since it is difficult to directly touch Sat and fully comprehend Chit, and since it is easier for most ordinary human beings like you and me to understand Ananda in its various aspects, and since that is closer to emotions than anything else, the only way to Chit and Sat, according to me, is through bhakti, through Ananda, to enjoying feelings. The only thing is this, normally what we say Ananda is very limited little Anandas. Perhaps when we understand it deeply enough, you will realize what Ananda is all about. And when that is understood, Chit and Sat is automatically understood. How does a person grow? A person, I believe, doesn't grow by having millions of dollars in the bank or having some huge properties and bungalows and helicopters. I think a person really grows when he begins first to think that he is not alone, the other person is also important. And he grows further when he thinks not only the other person, the third person is also important. And as he grows into this consciousness that the whole world is part of him and everybody is important, then he is growing. Otherwise he is not growing. Now that sharing of you and me as one is an emotional attachment. It is not some intellectual thing. It's kindness, feeling. So all these things can start only with that. Otherwise it will become a mere dry intellectual argument. And we will move nowhere. We will turn out to be more selfish than we were.